Good morning, Chairman Goodlad. Very good. Good morning, Chairman Goodlad, Ranking Member Watt, Chairman Smith, and Ranking Member Connors. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. The AT&T takeover of T-Mobile is a game changer. This anti-competitive shockwave will reverberate through the entire wireless industry. If approved, this merger virtually guarantees a wireless duopoly. It harms competitive carriers and consumers. It frustrates the goal of mobile broadband deployment across our nation and will require re-regulation of the wireless industry. RCA represents competitive carriers, rural, regional, urban, and suburban carriers all across the nation. Today I testify on behalf of nearly 100 carrier members and 145 vendor-supplier members of RCA, many of which are small businesses who compete with customers with robust service offerings, own and build their own wireless networks, and remain involved in their local communities. The David versus Goliath competition against the largest national carriers is nothing new. But if this proposed takeover is approved, it will be a bridge too far. The advantages of size, scale, vertical integration in the wireless value chain will overwhelm our nation's local competitive carriers. Let me offer 5 specific reasons why this transaction should not happen. It eliminates meaningful competition. This takeover would consolidate the industry to the extreme. 2 large carriers, AT&T and Verizon, control almost 80% of the market. Such consolidation would leave these consumers at the mercy of a duopoly, and history tells us the results. Consumers will face price increases, reduced innovation, and fewer choices. It disrupts data roaming. Voice roaming and now data roaming are fundamental building blocks of our nation's wireless networks. Roaming is just another word for national mobility. Without it, some customers will not have service. Ask yourself, which of your constituents would want to buy a phone that only works in your congressional district? That's why wireless is a national market. AT&T operates a digital technology called GSM and is proposing to buy the only other national GSM provider, T-Mobile. Therefore, if this deal is approved, small GSM providers face an AT&T roaming monopoly immediately. If you use the other technology, a CDMA technology, you have only 2 roaming choices, Verizon Wireless or Sprint Nextel. If this deal is approved, how long before Verizon attempts to buy Sprint Nextel? This does not look or sound like a competitive marketplace for the future. 3, it limits innovation, technology, and interoperability. Just as all consumers want service nationwide, they also want new innovative devices. Imagine the market power when 2 big companies control 80% of the wireless market. Will any of the smaller wireless carriers who serve rural towns across our nation have a fair shot at getting these new latest devices? Well, I think not. Apple will tell you that the iPhone is not exclusive, but yet only AT&T and Verizon offer the iPhone after 4 years. Number 4, it concentrates spectrum. This takeover will concentrate spectrum in the hands of AT&T and will do nothing in itself to bring 4G broadband services to rural America. T-Mobile owns few licenses in rural markets. AT&T already holds the prime low-band spectrum needed to serve rural areas. Today, without this deal, AT&T could build out the low-band spectrum it already owns and commit to support ubiquitous data roaming and harmonization across the 700 megahertz band, and that would help rural America. Bringing wireless broadband to rural America should not be held hostage in an attempt to win regulatory favor for this anti-competitive deal. And finally, eliminating competition means additional regulation. Today's light-touch regulatory regime is founded on the presence of vigorous competition. Turn competition into a duopoly, and Congress and the FCC will have to reevaluate this light-touch regulatory regime. The FCC will seek to increase regulatory involvement to artificially maintain the benefits competition should bring to your constituents. Please recognize this proposed takeover for what it is, a horizontal merger. It entirely eliminates a national competitor, and it threatens the ability of all other carriers to provide competitive services. This takeover cannot be conditioned into acceptance and must be stopped. I welcome any questions that you may have. Thank you.